Hello dear students, here I am with my next video. In previous video, we have seen the typical cervical vertebra and how to recognize by the foramina transverse area on the transverse process and bifid spine. Okay. So in this video, we are going to see a typical cervical vertebra and C1, C2 and C7 called as atlas axis and vertebra prominence respectively. So here is a C1 atlas. See, this is a ring shaped cervical vertebra. It has no body and no spine. Okay, there is a, instead of body there is an anterior arch and posteriorly there is a posterior arch. Anterior arch is smaller and posterior arch is 2/5 of total ring. Okay, so both the arches are marked by the anterior median tubercle and posterior median tubercle respectively, and they gives attachment to the anterior longitudinal ligament, and posterior tubercle gives attachment to the ligamentum nuchae. Okay, now see, the anterior tubercle is there and posteriorly posterior surface of anterior arch has a oval facet. See, you can see here, this is the oval facet. Okay, for the articulation of this dense process of the axis. Now bilaterally there are the lateral masses which represent the superior articular facets and inferior articular facets. So superior articular facets are elongated and inferior are circular or rounded. So superior articular facet articulates with the occipital condyle to form the atlanto-occipital joint, while the inferior articular facets get articulate with the superior articular facets of axis to form the atlanto-axial joint. Okay, now see, the lateral masses again shows this protuberance called as the tubercle of lateral masses. So lateral masses has medial surface medially, okay, and here is a roughened tubercle, so it gives attachment to the transverse ligament. Okay, and the dense process of the axis is fits in the socket made by anteriorly oval facet and posteriorly transverse ligament, like this. Okay, now the transverse processes appears by the foramina transverse area. Okay, now the posterior arch, as it is larger, 2/5 of the total ring, again posteriorly it has a median posterior tubercle, and lower border of this posterior arch gives attachment to the ligamentum flava, and superior surface of the posterior arch has a notch behind the articular facet. See, you can see here, this is the groove. You cannot say the notch, but it is a groove, and it is occupied by the vertebral artery as well as first cervical nerve. Okay, so this is all about the first cervical vertebra called as the atlas. Okay, now the second cervical vertebra, this is called as the axis. So what are the spatial characteristics of axis? The body of axis, it is modified to form the dense process or called as odontoid process. Okay, and again it is centrum of the body, and also we can say it represents the body of the atlas as it articulate with the anterior arch, okay, to form the atlanto-axial joint. So the odontoid process or dense process, bilaterally the superior articular facets, these are the articular facets superiorly, then the inferior articular facets are here, okay, bilaterally. Now transverse process on both sides appears by the foramina transverse area, so you can say the foramen. Now see, the lateral masses represents on both sides the superior articular facets. They go posterior laterally to form the pedicles, and again posterior medially the lamina. We called it as a vertebral arch. So see, the lamina is thick and strong. The lamina is thick and strong. Okay, these are the lamina. Now behind the superior articular facets there is a slight shallow notch called as the superior vertebral notch. Okay, and inferiorly there is a notch in between this tubercle and articular facets, posterior articular facets, and in between this tubercle there is a inferior intervertebral notch. Okay, this is the inferior vertebral notch, and here is a shallow superior vertebral notch. The spine is bifid, strong, short but bifid, and this axis, due to this odontoid process, we can easily recognize this vertebra. The inferior surface, the anteriorly, it is projected downward. The anterior margin of inferior surface is projected downward. Okay, you can see. An anterior surface is roughened, and between at the middle it has a groove. Okay, so this is the second cervical vertebra called as the axis. Now about the first cervical vertebra, see these are the laterally bilaterally we say it as a transverse process. So this portion is elongated sometimes, and we can feel on the neck surface in between the mandible and mastoid process. Okay, and this act as a lever for the rotatory movements of the neck. See, we can freely rotate our neck due to this laterally transverse process, or the lateral lever of the atlas. Okay, so here the posterior tubercle is present, only posterior tubercle. Okay, not anterior tubercle. So this is about the axis. Now the C7 is called as the vertebra prominens. Why? Because it has a long, thick spine, which is long and thick, and which lies horizontally. Usually it lies horizontal and end in a tubercle. See, it is a long, not bifid, thick, and end in a tubercle. Okay, it lies horizontally. You can easily feel on our surface of the neck at the lower end of the nuchal furrow. Okay. Now remaining characteristics of the this C7 are same as the typical cervical vertebra. It has a body. On bilaterally there are the uncal processes. Then the superior articular facets are here. Then you can see the inferior articular facets. The transverse processes are pierced by the foramina transverse area. But this foramen doesn't pass the vertebral artery. It only passes the vertebral vein. Again, you can see. Okay. Now what is the applied part of this C7? See, the lateral masses again sometimes it get enlarged to form the cervical rib. Okay, it get enlarged to form the cervical rib, and this rib get forward towards the anterior side, and it adjoins the first rib. Okay, again the cervical rib, when it is called as a cervical rib, the lateral masses or the this goes forwarded and get enlarged to form the cervical rib, and it adjoins the first rib. Okay, so this is the applied part of the C7 or the vertebra prominens. In this way we have seen the C1, C2 and C7. The attachment of these all these vertebra are the same: anterior longitudinal ligament and ligamentum nuchae posterior side. And the muscles for C7 are the trapezius, multifidus, semispinalis, okay, rectus capitis. So quite attachment is the same. So it is very easy to remember all these vertebra and their special characteristics. So students, keep watching all the videos and subscribe it, like, and as you are having queries, please WhatsApp me. In the next video we will see the lumbar vertebra and the thoracic vertebra with special characteristics. Okay, thank you.